Yeah, notice he did not answer the exact challenge I gave him. I asked him what the epistemic criteria was, and he said that the Quran backs up the promises of prior revelation when it's with the Quran. So in other words, the Quran proves the Quran by citing the Quran passages in the Old Testament. And yet we read in the Quran that it actually says that you can go to the prior revelation to see that the new revelation is consistent with it. And now he's admitting, what was his source? Many scholars say the Bible's corrupted. Oh, really? So many scholars who are atheist unbelieving is what you go to, not to your prophet Muhammad, who said that you can go to the prior Jewish Torah scriptures and Christian scriptures. Those scriptures confirm supposedly what's in the Quran. You just said, no, they're all corrupt. So Allah and Muhammad are directing me to go to a corrupt book to prove your book. You don't see how silly that is. And then when I asked you for a standard, you said the standard is the Quran. But the thing in question is the Quran. So you're in a circle. A circle.
He said, I didn't give him a criteria. I clearly did. I said, who agrees with the Quran and Hadith? It is, we accept it. Whoever disagrees, we reject it. He said, Quran proves the Quran. Nobody here is talking about proving the Quran. Nobody's also talking about the Quran proving the Bible. You're just misunderstanding things here.
285, the messenger believes in what has been revealed to him is from his Lord, as so do all the believers, his angels, and his books. The books that are referenced and many other passages as well. This includes 6:115, 18:27. These are the words of Allah previously in the Torah and the Injil. They cannot be corrupted and changed. He believes they're corrupted and changed. Why? Because atheist scholars said so. And guess what? The same atheist scholars don't believe in his books and his Quran. They all the time reject. So it's a double standard. They always do this. They have a double standard of citing the atheist scholars who reject the Bible, but also reject the Quran. And your Quran does say many times over that I can go and check the previous revelation to be consistent. And then when we find out that it's not consistent, you say, oh, that's because it's corrupted. So I'm supposed to look at a corrupted thing to confirm in a non-corrupted thing. That makes no sense. That's why when I said, what's the epistemic criteria to know the Quran is true? He said, the Quran. That's a circle. You explicitly affirmed the very thing I wanted you to affirm, that it is a circle. You said, no one wants to know. No one's asking what's true. I'm asking, how do we know it's true? What do you mean no one's asking this question? I'm asking you this question for the third time. How do we know it's true?
Now, it says atheist scholars says the Bible is... Yes, so we agree. I'm happy we agree that the scholars in academia agree that the Bible has been changed, corrupting, there's no original, etc. Now, these same atheist scholars, and in academia, you will see that they admit, and I've made videos about this before, how the Quran is preserved. You have Dr. Angelica Newell, she's not a Muslim. You have Dr. Dyer, you have many people I can mention now. Gerard Boy, I can mention many names of different people who do believe, who are atheists, or not Muslims, or academic, that the Quran is preserved. There's a whole books written on that, on the manuscripts, for example, Sarah manuscript, and how they show the preservation of the Quran. Now, the Quran never said the Bible is consistent. You're saying we've been talking about the how to prove the Quran. We never talked about the Quran. We're talking about how the Bible is corrupt. There's nothing to do with proving the Quran. Proving the Quran I have a video on my channel. Everyone is welcome to watch. It's called Compelling Evidences for Long about this.
Yeah, 6:115, again, neither of the passages that he's talking about confirm what he's saying. 6:115, the word of the Lord is perfected in truth and justice. None can change Allah's words. He just admitted that the words of Allah in the previous passages, you heard him say it in the last section there, that no, those verses of the books, the message, that's talking about the previous revelations of the prophets, which he just said is corrupted, when his own Quran says the word of Allah right there cannot ever be corrupted. So he's smarter than Allah and the prophet, according to his attachment to unbelieving scholars. What I pointed out was his double standard. And the fact that he's going to appeal to the same scholars, oh, but there's a bunch of other scholars that like the Quran. This is a fallacy of authority. Appealing to scholars is a fallacy of authority if you think that proves a position. You argued that there's a bunch of scholars that debate the early church. So what? That has nothing to do with proving a position. You could bring in scholars to back up a position, but they don't prove anything. That's called the fallacy of appeal to authority. So multiple times he's made countless